Oh, welcome back, champions. Let me get rid of that viewer count. I'm not live. But anyway, welcome back to my new segment of my channel. I mean, I did have an old one called Red Wine Politics. I reckon I'll bring that back. I'll need a glass of red wine when I'm about to deal with this video. But I've got my coffee, so that's better than nothing. Because everyone knows I need to be more stimulated. But anyway, appreciate you for all you champions. I call my subscribers champions. You could be one. Doesn't cost you anything. You just have to be a decent person. But anyway, appreciate all of you that checked out my live streams earlier. The gameplay of Uncharted 4 and my Champion Hangout one. But anyway, I am about to react to the offline reaction stream videos to oh, hang on, where is it? Oh, come on. Here we are. Sorry, my bad. Got to set everything up still. Yep, I am reacting to the Kamala Harris interview. Action News anchor Brian Taft's full interview with VP Kamala Harris. Oh, spread for joy. But seriously, like and subscribe and check out 6ABC Philadelphia. Alright. Without further ado, let's just get into... Excuse me. Let's get into it.
All good? Okay. Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome.
Okay, hang on.
Madam Vice President?
Did they really add the, preparation before the interview actually begins? That's kind of lazy. Her looking back like she gives a shit.
All good? Okay. Okay, wonderful. Good. Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide.
Sitting in a state and an audience that could decide who becomes president? No freaking way. None of us had any idea, did we, champions? A stupid statement to start off with.
The outcome of this presidential election. Yeah. You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit.
Yes, I want to create an opportunity economy where everyone gets paid by opportunities. Screw money.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, champions. My apologies. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I do not like her to begin with, but let's see how this plays through.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister.
Oh my god. Did she really just start off with the same stuff she did in the first debate?
You know what? I started off as a middle-class child.
I'm not trying to be hateful, but can she not just simply ask a question, answer it properly, instead of talking about how she grew up? What the hell has that got to do with an opportunity economy?
She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction
really? Who didn't?
And nurses and teachers, and I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who
Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that. The way she's talking with her eyes down doing this stuff. That tells me she's talking off her top of her head. However, I will say this, she did start off with that. I started off in a middle-aged family. She said the same thing in the debate with Trump. So this is a talking point that she's written down and memorized. So this isn't authentic. Oh,
very proud of their lawn. You know?
oh my, what?
And we're very proud of their lawn. People will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn. You know?
Oh, I'm going to be pausing this a lot.
I grew up in folks that are very proud of their lawn.
What does that have to do with an opportunity economy? I'm guessing everybody's happy with their nature strip if they have one.
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people.
Okay, this stuff right here. Now, I'm full of anxiety and stuff. I've actually been diagnosed with it. I'm not one of these idiots that self-diagnose themselves off the internet. I just feel so weird. No, you're just weird. But this stuff, with that closing the fists, that's a sign of nervousness. Like, to keep her fingers from twitching, they'll close them up, or they pulse their hands. Yeah.
People deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and
I want to invest in the aspirations, the dreams, and the hard work ethic of the American people.
Why haven't you done that already? 3.5 years of vice president. It's a more powerful position than half the political positions in American government. Yet, she's only talking about doing this if she becomes president. Why haven't you done it as vice president? Why haven't you suggested that to Joe Biden? In fact, why didn't you help him get these things through? Had you done that, you probably would have had more of an advantage to actually become president.
creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored. Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention, really, I think, the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a 50...
Okay, so we're 2 minutes 36 seconds in already. If I go back, so about 39 seconds, or maybe about 30 seconds in, the first question was answered to her about what specific things are you going to do to create this opportunity economy. So she spent a minute and a half talking about, reminiscing about being a child in a middle class family, talking about things everybody already knows growing up in a community. Like everything she's saying only has ever happened to her. I feel like this woman needs a safe space just to do an interview. Or whatever that college kids do nowadays. Just answer the question, please. Please. That's what your supporters want. If I want to know what you're about, if I want to know your plan of action to become president, the policies you actually bring. Most of the voters for her must be sick and tired of his word salads, not knowing what she's about, not answering the questions bluntly, which people want to see. They're tired of her just talking about whatever and then finally saying like a half-second answer to the question she was asked of in the first place. I can't be alone in this, okay? Hey, I would have loved her to be a fresh face in politics. I would have loved her to have the great experience, have a great record, even though Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her back in the 2020 nominee debate. I'm only 2.5 minutes into this. Wow.
$50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is to work with the...
It was during Trump's administration, and then you and Biden took over, and the problem started. Why is she talking like everything that's going on wasn't involved with her and Biden under their administration? Is she Dory from Finding Nemo? Has she got such a short-term memory loss? Ugh.
The private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government, to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term.
God, I feel like I'm on drugs just watching her.
To help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally. And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able to just get in
I
the
don't
door,
like her
and then
body
they will do
language,
work that
the
they
way
need
she
to do
speaks.
to save and to
Because
pay
to
back
me, it
mortgage
looks like
and
she's
to build wealth for themselves.
making up as she goes along.
These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired, who work hard, and deserve to have,
I'm sorry, all the money that's behind her clearly were given to her by Joe Biden and the various lobbyist groups, associated businesses that have given her donations, and they expect her to do favors for them. And that's the cost of doing business in politics, and that happens in any nation, regardless of it's America or my home country, Australia, Britain, anywhere, really. So, how is she supposed to promise that she's going to create better opportunities for the young Americans to actually have a chance in life to get a house, when at the same time she's going to have to do all these favors to the people that gave her money in the first place, which will probably be a contradiction to what she's promising?
their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
You talked at the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past, and in fact here today.
He's got a great poker face, this interviewer, Action News anchor Brian Taffs. I can sense the frustration behind his eyes. It's in his eyebrows. The stress wrinkles in his forehead.
Today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward.
Yes.
I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And
Really? Oh, could have fooled me. You'd pretty have as much the same gaffes as Joe Biden. Instead, you've just been laughing through them. Wow.
You know, I offer a new generation of leadership, and
Well, before we continue, and I'll actually get through this quicker now. I won't keep pausing it, but a lot of people, not simply on the right of politics, but also on the left or even in the middle, the moderates of the Republicans or the Democrats or the independents, whatever you want to call them, they've all had the same quotation that she talks to people like she's a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, we're gonna do so many great things for the American people. They're gonna have better lunches, more time for recess. I'm gonna read them a storybook before they go to bed.
so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work, and maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore.
Like what?
Another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about...
I've been drinking 2.5 cups of coffee and I'm actually tired watching this. Wow. Watching this has actually defied the biological physics for my body and the coffee I've drunk. Wow. I am shocked and deeply appalled already.
New ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years.
But you won't make it to 10, 20 years. Because you've already done 3.5 years. And so far, you've barely made an appearance.
What you co-signed on a few bills that Biden's actually passed through, while taking credit for herself.
To catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Crime and public safety are two major issues.
This interviewer going, he doesn't know what she's saying.
Right at the forefront of voters' minds in Philadelphia as well, where crime...
I'm definitely doing more videos like these,
When we
champions.
talk
I
about
love
crime,
it.
the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership...
Yeah, hasn't she
what do you
contradicted
want
herself about
in
guns
America
before?
on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I support the Second Amendment, and I support reasonable gun safety laws. Part of my
Anybody
approach
would.
to this is
That's not
I
a
was
stance
career
to run for
prosecutor most of
president.
my
That's
career.
common sense.
I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body. And so
I think
feel
everybody
very
has a
strongly
general understanding of that.
it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war. They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly.
Really?
I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that. Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to...
Every weapon's lethal. Guns don't shoot feathers to tickle people. My God.
themselves or others. You just might want to know.
Two final questions, if I might.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. He has an historic appeal in this country. And as you are someone running against him and trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be? And how do you speak to his voters? Or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
I, based on experience and a lived experience, no. In my heart, I know, in my soul, I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone.
Trump already did that with MAGA. Make America great again. Make a better union. Lower taxes. Keep people out of war. She's repeating the successful things Trump's already done, but claiming it's her ideas and that she'll have a plan of action to create that. I mean, the debate previously when they were talking about tariffs, why didn't they get rid of the Trump tariffs? Because it was actually a very good policy, bringing in heaps of money. No matter how I pause the video, she's always got this weird ass face, like.
One who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you.
I think they're exhausted with you.
People want a leader who has common sense and tries to find common ground. I'm supporting.
Did she really just say common sense?
Supported by over 200 Republicans who worked for both Presidents Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Congress member Liz Cheney.
Really?
And I think people are more willing now, in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first.
That's what Trump did in his
I think
presidency.
makes us stronger and more healthy as a country. To say, look, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
And finally, as you introduce yourself to America in a new way, they've heard much of your story?
You don't think having the first debate where the moderators that weren't even moderators, but Kamala Harris's lackeys, fact-checking Trump every 5 seconds, interrupting him while absolutely doing nothing towards you, Miss Harris. You don't think that's divisive on your part?
At the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week, if there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is, that you don't think they know yet,
Oh, this would be good.
what would that be?
I don't know. I mean, probably it's not very different from anybody watching right now. I love my family. One of my favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook. I have incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still my best friend.
Last time I'll pause, I promise, is nearly over, but what does that have to do with American voters needing to know more about you, which involves being the president? Making Sunday dinner isn't a prerequisite to becoming president.
I think that, I have a career that really, and I said it the other day, as a career prosecutor, I never asked a victim of crime, were they a Republican or a Democrat. The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay?
Really?
You asked them if they're okay as a prosecutor. Did you ask those prisoners you kept in prison to use as cheap labour, are they okay? What about all those people that were incarcerated for smoking marijuana and you laughed when you asked the question, did you smoke marijuana? Are they okay? What about cash bailout, which affected every American? Were they okay? I don't pretend to be an expert in anything, champions. I'm really not. But I do pay attention. Wow.
And I think that's the approach that most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election, in terms of turning the page and charting the way forward.
I imagine you're looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
I am looking for it. Yes, I am.
Anything to end this interview.
The whole family gets involved. The kids each have their role. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's a beautiful family, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Oh, wow. It's the way she spreads joy and the way she talks about making dinner for a family and the way that she talks about people being impressed by their lawns, their nature strips of their houses. Oh, what great experience to be president of America. My God. I'm done with that shit. All right, champs. Well, there you go. That was my reaction. Maybe it was a bit wild, but I was a bit hot under the collar listening to this garbage. Most of the good things about her is like I hate heaps of people saying that she's very attractive. I'm not one of them. I don't find her cackling or her inability to answer a question first up. I don't find that attractive. Oh well. Appreciate all you champions liking, subscribing to my channel, but will like this video once it's uploaded. Appreciate all of you. I'm now going to watch the King, Tyrone Magnus's reaction to this interview. I want to see his 2 cents about it. I'm sure he knows way more about it than I do. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the next hangout.